Welcome back to Lost Legacies.
A Hidden City Book Company production.
I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
Well, everybody, welcome back to the show. We're excited. We're happy to be here. We're happy to have you here with us once again, where we're talking about yet another wild movie off of one of our random lists. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting time. Before we get started, Matt, was there anything we needed to discuss or we wanted to talk about?
I don't know. I felt like last week we had a lot to catch up on. This week...
Did we talk about like the Dune and Spider-Man trailers?
No, we did not.
We talked about that off pod.
Yeah, we talked about Oscars. Yeah. So we did get the Dune trailer.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm not going to say it was bad. It was just more of the same to me, you know. Then again, I'm not a big Dune fan.
A Dune head?
Yeah, I'm not a Dune head. I think it looks good. I really dug Dune 2.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much a fan of the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I saw someone post a picture. It's a steel cap of Robert Pattinson from the trailer, and the quote was just like, "Oh, you know, this boy's cooking up a freak axe." Hang on, let me say it again. Ooh, you know, this boy's cooking up a freak ass accent for this one. And I was like, yeah, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
So,
I'm pumped. And apparently he's in like 3 movies this year.
Dude, he's so busy, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be, what's the word when you judge someone by their looks? I don't want to be
judgmental.
A judger of looks.
Okay.
Someone who's vain. I don't like Timothée Chalamet with the no hair, man.
Yeah.
Neither
do I.
And considering he had very short hair throughout his whole Oscar run, I think that's it. I think his power might be in his hair. You know,
it could be. Yeah, it might be.
And not to harp on this guy more and to continue with that Oscar talk, but I did read a very interesting article about Oscar campaigns, and this guy was, I forgot if it was Variety or Hollywood Reporter, I don't know, but they were basically talking about how the campaigns of Oscars, the campaigning is changing, and you know, back in the day, it was about who was best, who was the best performer. But then Weinstein got involved, and he was the one who really made it about politics, you know, in addition to everything, all the other horrible things he was doing. It really became about politics, and any press is good press. That was the mindset, you know. So and even though he's no longer in the industry, we keep repeating those things. You know, Hollywood hasn't moved on from that. They're saying this is kind of the first year we got blowback for that. Because the guy was even saying, he's like, look, all the Oscar voting was already in by the time that Chalamet interview came out. So it has nothing to do with his comments on ballet or anything. Everything was already being tallied up by that point. He's like, but his campaign style was very stunty, you know? And he's like, I think especially these days with our real world politics going on, like everyone's just kind of tired of that.
Yeah.
You know, they just kind of want people to be real, you know?
Yeah.
And he used Robert Pattinson and Andrew Garfield as examples. Like, you can tell people just really want to be around these guys, you know? They're very genuine, very kind. The issue of Timothée Chalamet is kind of what we brought up a few episodes ago, how like everyone has this idea of who he is, but in his Oscar campaign, you're actually sitting down and talking to him about stuff outside of his movie. He's like, and a lot of journalists started realizing the more we spend time with him, we really don't want to spend time with him, you know? Whereas Michael B. Jordan is the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, very much in the same vein of Pattinson and Garfield. They're like, everyone just really liked him, and like he has this natural charisma, and he's kind to everyone. And I was
Hmm.
like, wow, man. I'm like, so it feels like that's in some little way like Hollywood is changing for the better, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up to kind of cap our Oscars talk. This is the 3 episodes we've talked about it, you know?
Jeez, yeah,
So
and that, yeah, yeah, Oscars, but mostly about Chalamet. All right, we're
well,
next.
true.
It's done.
Yes. Yes, true, but I think he just happens to be like the weather vane of the moment right now. He's kind of showing us which way the like a weather vane, the way the winds are blowing now, you know?
Mm.
People are just kind of tired of the what's the opposite of genuine? Ingenuine?
Yeah, disingenuine. Yeah, fake.
Disingenuine. I was like
Yeah,
ex
yeah.
genuine. There we go. Yeah.
No, Matt.
Yeah.
Ay,
So
ay.
so yeah, people are tired of that, and they're kind of ready to move on from that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Just
So
like I'm ready to move on from Dune, trailer wise, because like we said, trailer was good. Nothing really like mind blowing, but
mhm.
you know, I guess I'll be there. Um,
Yeah, I'll check it out. I want to check it out.
yeah, yeah, I'll check it
So
out. What I'm definitely gonna check out is the new Spider-Man movie.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I mentioned this to you as well. Like when with the last Spider-Man movie,
Hmm.
everyone knew that Toby and Andrew were coming back. They kept
Yeah,
it out of the trailers, but there were so many things like leaking. Disney really tried hard to keep the lid on it. But
yeah,
just the
yeah,
fact that the villains show up, you're like, come on. It'll be really lame if they don't, if the
yeah.
Spideys don't show up. So with this one, I'm excited because like we don't know what's coming. We know Punisher's in there. I don't know about the Hulk, but Bruce Banner is in there.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of excited for like what's gonna not that there needs to be a twist or a thing, but
Hmm.
like these Spider-Man films kind of feel like they are. There's gonna be a thing. And the big theory right now is that Sadie Sink, who is not in the trailer, but she has been seen on set,
Hmm.
the big rumor right now is that she's going to play Jean Grey. This is
Mm.
going to be the introduction to the X-Men, or at the very least, like the mutants into the MCU.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and in the trailer, we don't see who the villain is. We see several villains, but we don't see who the big bad is. But we
Hmm.
do see people being mind controlled. We're like,
Yeah,
ooh, that kind of also lends itself to the Jean Grey theory.
yeah. I. It feels weird because it's like, why would she be like?
Sure.
Why would she be doing this? And like it, the way the trailer is edited, it is shown to be sort of villainous. So it's
Hmm.
like, okay, well, why would she be doing that then? Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot going on with the trailer.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, like this is interesting because it's like, like to your point, it does feel different than No Way Home because there isn't a huge twist reveal or whatever that we have to edit out of the trailers and all this stuff. Like, like just from this alone, it's like there was enough here within this trailer to be like, yeah, this feels like a Spider-Man movie. I'm not
I
saying
agree.
I'm not saying that it's gonna be like on the same level as
Hmm.
Spider-Man 2, but like the ideas that this trailer is are presenting like got me like that kind of excited for like this feels like it's gonna be a movie, a
Yeah.
Spider-Man movie. There's enough going on here to
Yeah.
where, in this little microcosm alone, it can exist without having to have the big twist villain. Another
Sure.
trailer will probably hint at that and tell us that,
Yeah.
like, hey, there's something here. There's something
Hmm.
we're editing out of this photo or this image where Spider-Man's standing like this, you know?
Well, they've already been dissecting it. There's that one shot of Spidey flying at the ninjas who we're assuming is
The
the red
hand,
hand?
the
Yeah, the
hand.
hand,
Yeah.
who are Daredevil villains.
Yeah.
Um, and they're like flying at each other, and like it's paused, it's screen capped. People are circling ninjas, they're circling the blank space. They're like,
Yeah, yeah,
Spidey's
yeah.
pretty high in that frame. And it
Yeah.
doesn't look like those ninjas are all flying in his trajectory. So everyone's saying, like, are there other people? Hey, dude, this is Disney. They've been pulling this for over a decade.
This is
There
the
might very well be two other characters at least that they edited out of that trailer.
Yes, but this is also Sony, and Sony is notorious for doing that more because Sony has the whatchamacallit, the distribution or the marketing rights
Sure.
for
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Yeah, so this is on them. Uh
Yeah.
and like fine, but they also are notorious for editing characters into shots where they aren't in the movie. Like
Oh,
the
interesting.
like Homecoming.
Yeah.
Homecoming was like riding hard on Iron Man being in the movie. It looked like it was going to be the Spider-Man and Iron Man movie with like
Mm,
how much footage Iron Man was in and how much like he was edited in shots of like Spider-Man just swinging through the city,
yeah.
at least like two or three. And then when you watch the movie, he's in none of those shots. He's
I
barely in the movie.
remember some guys tried to sue because they were saying the Hulk isn't actually in
Oh, in
Endgame.
that shot in Infinity War. Because
Yes, Infinity.
there's
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
shot of Infinity War where like
Yeah.
all the
And
heroes are running and
right,
everybody's
and I'm
there.
really
Yeah, yeah.
curious, like, I wonder what happened to that. I don't know if it ever they won or not, but I'm like, I wonder if there's some kind of something valid in that because right now, there are AI channels on YouTube being shut down because they're making fake trailers,
Mm,
So I'm like, in the whole fight against AI, that's good, you know. But like,
hmm.
do you think there's something to be said with that in editing your trailers, you know, from like that professional level? Okay,
Yeah.
because to put this on Sony, sure, but there's nothing different behind the scenes between this movie and the last one. So
No.
I'm pretty positive that they're editing stuff out of these trailers,
I
My
mean,
theory is
yeah.
that Daredevil's going to show up because you have the Hand and you have Punisher.
Hmm.
I think, who knows, maybe even Jessica Jones because she just showed up at the Daredevil show, she came
Mm,
back. So
yeah.
I don't know, but I think there might be more people there. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's Spider-Man and Jean Grey in that shot. Who knows?
Mm.
But I'm nothing's changed. I'm pretty sure they're editing stuff out. Um,
Yeah, my thing is that like this just always leads back to like the exorbitant fan expectation of every single Marvel movie that comes out.
that's true.
We get a solo characters movie
Yeah.
and there's at least 50 other characters that people are saying that like, "Oh, if you freeze frame it this exact second, you can tell that this color is
Yeah.
here. So that means Mephisto's there." And it's
Yeah. Oh
like that
no.
like yeah.
So what you're saying is I'm turning into a Swiftie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the trailer dropped on this date, which
Hmm.
means this and this and this. So
And if you
I
go
think,
back to Tom Holland's like social media post, a
yeah,
story, not a post, a story he posted 2 years ago.
I think
Yeah.
the trailer dropped on the 10-year anniversary for
Of
announcing John Bernthal was the Punisher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something like that. I was like,
Well,
oh,
that's
cool.
cool. You
Yeah, they
know,
also announced that the Punisher, what's it called? Some kind of special that they're doing.
I have no idea.
It
What is this?
basically a standalone episode that John Bernthal wrote.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's supposed to come out this year.
okay.
Uh, and it said
Rad.
it's like the longest. It's longer than any of the Punisher episodes we've got so far.
Hmm.
So when does Spidey come out?
May, I want to say.
Oh, that quick?
May or June, I think.
Oh, geez.
I mean, I feel like it's a summer movie.
Oh, I was thinking it was fall because it's like I figured there was going to be like 6 months worth of trailers or something.
Well,
So
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. It
because I think the
is
Punisher special is coming out in the fall sometime.
July 31st
Wow.
for
Okay.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think the Punisher special comes out in the fall.
I
But
mean, I think that makes sense Marvel wise because I think it's just Spider-Man and Avengers that have movie releases this year.
Ooh, I wonder if the Punisher will somehow. I doubt it, but I was gonna think if it ties into Doomsday. But it's like if John Bernthald's the one writing it, I kind of feel like it's
I
not.
doubt it. Yeah.
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 Um. So that's cool. Yeah. I don't know. I'm optimistically excited. I'm more excited for Spider-Man than I
Hmm.
am Doomsday. So
Oh,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I was the same way when like Fantastic Four came out, and even to an
Yeah.
extent like Thunderbolts. I was like, I want more of these guys
Yeah.
than I want, like the big, huge crossover movie. But
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
So yeah, I'm just excited, and I hope they utilize Sadie Sink. Like
Me too.
that's I know it's fan expectation, but like if she's Jean Grey, I'm gonna be super excited.
Hmm.
My fear is that because there's also the rumor that like she's Spider-Man's daughter from the future, and I'm like,
Mm.
they're about to reboot the universe. Like, what are the chances that that character's gonna come back in a meaningful way? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, man. Um, I basically don't want it to just be like a one and done, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, yeah. Someone was posting because I think her play just premiered or ended. She's doing Romeo and Juliet on Broadway.
Hmm.
And
That's
with
awesome.
Clark Gregg, I'm guessing he plays one of the fathers.
Hmm. Okay.
I don't know. Uh, uh, but someone was saying, like, you know what? One day, people are going to look back on Stranger Things and be surprised to say, "Oh, Sadie Sink was in this."
Yeah.
Basically, just to say, like, out of all the cast, she's probably gonna go the furthest. You know,
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
like, I believe it.
potentially, they're all still young,
Yeah.
and they all are now just free of that. So, we
Hmm.
could see, a couple of rising stars out of there.
Yeah.
Um, you
Maybe
know, but yeah,
we'll see.
speaking of
Uh.
rising stars, I went to the stars this weekend
Oh yes.
because I watched Project Hail Mary.
Hmm.
Matt, if you see one movie this year in theaters in IMAX, it's Project Hail Mary. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. You gotta go. Take mom, take dad. You know,
People are saying that it's the Superman of 2026. They're like, it's movies like this that kind of like give us hope and revitalizes our faith in humanity.
kind
It's
of.
like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I walked
okay,
out of there thinking that, like, man, I think we're gonna be okay. You know,
yeah,
which is so weird. It's such a weird thing to come out of.
yeah,
But it's just like I don't the the big thing about movies is that like they can inspire you to do good, and I hope that this movie inspires more than just think pieces about how Project Hail Mary is going to make this much money and it's going to save the movies, or this is going to propel
right,
science fiction. It's just like it's good if it does all of that.
yeah,
My first thing is like if I'm enjoying the movie, it makes me want to go do something. Not only does it make me want to go like create my own thing, but it also
hmm,
makes me want to go learn something. I realized there that I was like, there's so much like hard science in this movie that like I actually don't know a whole lot about like the science behind this stuff. So
mm,
I'm gonna go read the book now, and I wanted to for a long time, but now I'm
hmm,
gonna go actively read the book, and I want to learn more about space. I want to learn more about all these things and these celestial bodies, and I don't know, just try and do more for the planet because like this
sure.
is this is the one planet we got.
Who
Um,
directed this?
this was Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, we talked
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
cool. That's cool. That's exciting. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna check it out eventually.
yeah. It was good. It was funny. It's five
Yeah.
stars. Yeah, I give it two thumbs
Oh,
up. If you get that reference, you've seen the movie, and if you don't, just wait.
oh, nice. A lot of people were comparing, not comparing it, but they were like the vibes I was getting was the same things people were saying for what's the damn show? The Dunkin' Egg show. They're saying like
Oh,
this, yeah, they're like out of everything we've gotten from Game of Thrones, this like makes me feel like it's gonna be okay. If Dunkin' Egg could
yeah.
be these two wholesome, just good characters in that world,
Mm-hmm.
like I can do better. You know,
That's
I was like,
that's
oh, that's
fascinating.
cool.
Yeah, it is fascinating because like I've only read one of their stories and there's only three. So I
Yeah.
really don't know like if they're only going to do three seasons of this or what. Um,
I don't know, but they said the first one was very accurate to the story.
okay.
So
And I think it was
and
the one that I read too, so I'm interested to
okay.
see it. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. And they said, egg growing up is gonna play into it, because
Mm.
this was filmed like 2 years ago, maybe,
Oh,
or a
okay.
year ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
yeah,
he's going to
yeah,
be older.
a little older.
Yeah.
Because I think he was 12 or something.
Oh, wow.
No, not even. He has to be
I was
younger.
I was going to say he
Because
doesn't really look it.
yeah, I was watching interviews. I'm like, no, this kid is younger than
Yeah.
12. So I don't know. I still want to check that show out, but it's cool to see something like that. I was hearing people talk about Duncan Egg. I'm like, this sounds like Superman. And then now they're saying that about Project Hail Mary. And I'm like,
Hmm.
all right, are we getting a new genre here? Hope, the hopeful genre?
Yeah. Hope, yeah, maybe. The world needs it.
Yeah, that's for sure. And speaking of it, needing it, and speaking of the opposite of Project Hail Mary
And hope.
and hope, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about a movie where there's no hope at all whatsoever for anybody. It's 2016's The Wailing. A
Oh, I watched the wrong one.
Oh, uh-oh.
Oh,
We're
there's a
gonna
turtle.
wait a second. You were the one who was prefacing that this wasn't a good time. This was hopeful. So what happens to those whales, Matt? What happens to that turtle?
Oh no. For podcasters, Sam has an HD background from the movie The Wailing. I have an illustrated picture of two whales with
Hmm.
flowers and a little turtle
And a
riding on his back.
butterfly?
And a butterfly, I guess.
This photo doesn't make sense.
It's magic, Sam.
At
It's
least, yeah,
whimsy.
it's
It's
magic. It's
whimsy.
magical,
So,
whimsical, and it's not
so I
AI.
I have this background, and I'm wearing my spooky Hello Kitty shirt today.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so I'm hoping it balances the vibes with the film,
Mm-hmm.
because it needed it. But
Definitely.
yeah. So I guess Sam,
Mm-hmm.
real quick,
Mm-hmm.
so we don't forget because I did this last week. Give a
Okay.
quick little synopsis of what this movie was about for the people who have not seen it.
Okay. The Wailing, directed by Na Hong Jin, I believe. Uh, it's
I
a
believe you.
it's a South Korean horror movie that is about a small town that is plagued by a series of very brutal and mysterious deaths, murders and deaths, and it is about the pretty incompetent police officer who finds himself at the center of these murders and slowly starts to unravel the mystery around him, kind of.
Hmm.
Um,
So,
yeah.
uh, before we start talking about this,
Okay.
what made you choose this movie?
To be fair, you rolled. You rolled the dice and this was on
Sure,
the list.
but this movie was on the list, and I want to know why this movie was on the list.
Well, from the trailer, it looked, I mean, like we like cop drama, like that.
Sure.
You and I's like one kind of like red flag is that we both do kind of like cop shows. We like watching that stuff. Um, I try to not watch a whole lot of it anymore, but I can have a little propaganda as a treat. Um, hey, I'll ride or die when that Miami Vice movie comes out. If Tom Cruise is the villain, I'm there day freaking
True.
one.
True.
Um, so like, and this sort of felt like it was in our wheelhouse because it's like this kind of feels like Seven. This kind of
Mm,
feels like a genre that you and I like a subgenre of those police procedurals that we love about like that humdrum, no nonsense or that humble bumbling guy who stumbles into the bigger world and the scarier world, you know? And I
Hmm.
think you and I are always looking for that, you know, like yeah, just some guy like had no idea that he stumbled into a horror movie, like something cosmic or mythical, and now he has to fight against it. And truly, like for most of the movie, I'm like, that's kind of this movie. This
Hmm.
movie is that to a T, and I think you and I really like it when that happens, and especially because you're always talking about like, well, how do you fight Cthulhu? How do you take on Cthulhu? How do you do that? And I'm always like,
Mm,
that's the thing about the mythos and the whole lore surrounding is that like you can't kill it, you can't do all this stuff, and
right.
you are staunchly like, but what if you can? And here's how I would do it. And here's like so for me coming into the movie, I'm like, okay, I think this is like this will be a good exercise. I'm like is this going to challenge Matt's belief in that, and like is this going to be a
Hmm.
thing of like oh yeah, like I really dug like this aspect of it,
Hmm.
or something like that, and it felt like there was going to be a lot of good discussion about it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So well, you lost me when you said South Korean horror. Because when you announced that, I was like, okay, I've never heard of this movie. And then you said horror. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. I did figure we would be watching more horror eventually. But then
Yeah.
when you said South Korean, I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is going to be terrifying.
Yeah,
Um,
that that's true. That's true. And truthfully speaking, I don't think I didn't do enough research on this, so that's my fault. Because I don't think I
well,
really like eased you into it at
that's
all.
that's kind of why I was asking why you picked this one because like I could understand if there's not a lot uh because it's kind of purposefully hidden. Like I could understand if like a lot of the bigger things in this movie are not discussed openly without spoilers, you know?
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
last thing we want to do is spoil the movie in just researching it, you know, like, oh,
Yeah.
am I going to be down for this? And then you find out all the spoilers. That's what we don't want to do.
Yeah.
Um, but uh uh yeah, this is like the exact thing like I don't want to be watching. I'm like, oh my God. But I mean, even like something like Seven, like I don't particularly like that movie. Is it a good movie? Sure, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna watch this again.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that's really what I felt here. I think just from the offset, I was gonna be very harsh with this film, but I
Mm,
think kind of knowing where your head's at right now, I'm like, no, I think I'm not gonna be as harsh, but because I do think it was a well done. It was made well. You know, it was
yeah.
executed well for the most part.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I think it's kind of tough when you think about it as a horror movie because conceptually, yeah, this is a horror film,
Hmm.
but there isn't really a lot of horror in it. It's more like disturbing, you know,
Yes.
and creepy. So it
Yes.
kind of depends on your levels of horror.
Yeah.
Most of it, I kind of like. It reminded me of Dark. I was like, oh, this is just very like
Mm,
lots of ambiance, and it's the tone and the vibes, which is just kind of setting you up, like you know, like just something isn't right.
hmm.
But but honestly, it wasn't really till like that final scene that it was scary. That and I think the scene with like the hiker where he sees
Oh
the guy,
yeah.
you know, and he's kind of just like looking for him.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, that probably had me on the edge of my seat for the most part of any part anything in this movie. I was like,
Hmm.
oh my God. But yeah, so it was kind of hard to because you know I say I don't like scary movies. And I didn't like this one, but it wasn't really for the horror. That wasn't why I didn't like it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I
So
agree.
I won't say I did like it before the first almost 2 hours of the film. Like I was in. It's
Mm,
very slow burn, but I'm like I was bought in. I'm like, I really want to know what's going on. I was
yeah.
really intrigued by the mystery. When you actually start getting answers and things start going crazy in that last 30 to 40 minutes, I just kind of checked out. I'm like, okay,
Mm,
I
yeah,
see
yeah.
what they're doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was scary, but I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And this was interesting for me because I feel like I kept like I kept losing focus and I kept losing interest. Because
Mm,
like from the opening, I was like, okay, like had to sit up. I was sitting down on I was laying on my couch
yeah.
and then see all the gruesome stuff. I'm like, all right, put my blanket on.
Hmm.
Let's
I
watch
mean,
this. And I was in, but it's hard because um like the the main character, the cop, the sergeant, I was
mhm,
just so like, dude, you're freaking Barney Rubble in the
mhm.
middle of this Stephen King story. It's like you're
Yeah.
like he's so much of like he's just lazy and a coward, you know?
Hmm.
And like I'm just like it's real hard for me when you it's like it's fine when you make your character like that, but if there's like change and an active want of change happening through the story, I'm like, okay, I like that can work. That kind of character can work.
Hmm.
This guy doesn't change at all throughout the entire movie. And I'm like,
Well,
that's where you kind of start losing me here.
it's like the change is different. Like he stays that same person, but we just get the more like vicious side of him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the reactionary. And I think there could be a cool story there. I
Yeah.
think like I enjoy like the bumbling idiot in a horror movie conceptually,
Hmm.
but it didn't. It played against itself in this one. Like if this was like a legitimate cop who knew what they were doing, then or if he could have, don't make him an idiot, but he could have just been a good guy. If
Yeah.
this was just a solid guy who ends up going down this really dark path, that's very compelling. But
Hmm.
it's like they purposely chose stuff like to not. It's almost as if like being a good guy, watching a good man turn into a bad man isn't interesting enough.
Hmm.
So we'll make him an idiot because he's the last person you would expect to become a bad guy. And
Yeah.
it's like, it just wasn't vibing. The best part of the movie was like that first 30 minutes because you're setting up all the weird
Mm.
crap going on, but it also establishes the relationship of the family, but specifically with the daughter.
Hmm.
Because all the daughter stuff, like when she got possessed, that's what hurt the most. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is creepy, but it's heartbreaking. Like you
Hmm.
can feel the dad's heartbreak. And that was the strongest part of the movie. And it kind of just got swept aside. It's like I understand why he's going down this path because they took the time to establish the relationship between father and daughter. They took the time to do that with the audience. So I can feel that. I understand what he's going through, but it's just like everything else like just doesn't add up,
Yeah. Yeah.
like just an idiot he gets in over his head, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't know. Oh, and then like the other idiot cops too, like it's just him and his partner, which are kind of like this buddy cop, almost a comedy duo. But
Yeah.
then like the detectives all seem like normal legit dudes.
Yeah.
Their captain's like a dick, but then you get into the whole like I did enjoy like the kind of zombie fight sequence,
Hmm.
but it did very borderline kind of slapstick almost.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was
Which,
just totally, it was all over the place.
which is interesting because like this movie does have a lot of those like comedic tendencies. And
Yeah.
like, it like so like in a way it was almost a stress relief where it's like, okay, this isn't like a 28 days later like
Yeah.
uber zombie that's gonna like run at us and stuff. Like, no,
Hmm.
like this is a bumbling thing. It's
Hmm.
shambling. It doesn't, you can tell that it's thinking and it's feeling, but like it's so
Right.
far removed from us. And like, and so yeah, like there was some comedic tendencies there that like I kind of appreciated because it was like, oh, thank God, like they're straight up gonna go to that home and like murder that guy,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
before we even knew if that guy was like legitimately evil or
Right.
whatever. um but so to have that kind of levity, I'm like, okay, cool. But
Hmm.
after like the third or fourth time the zombie tackled yet another guy and they had to get the zombie off of
It
him, I
keeps
was like,
going and going.
okay, like yeah,
Yeah.
like I was reading a lot of other people's reviews that kind of said the same thing. Like this feels like it would have been a great uh, uh and this is also like I guess like a hot take or an unpopular opinion that a lot of people are saying like this would have been a great movie if it were shorter because it
Dude,
feels like there was too much. Like it
I
takes so long.
as soon as it ended, I read the synopsis on Wikipedia
Hmm.
just to make sure I understood everything.
Hmm.
The Wikipedia synopsis is almost starts at hour one.
Damn.
Yeah, like the first
Jeez.
hour is just a few sentences. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a good point. I'm like, not a lot really happened. It was all establishing stuff during that first hour, which is
Hmm.
kind of funny because, like I said, that was probably the best part of the movie,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of like it's just more of the same, you know? Like it should have been shorter. It could have been faster. I don't know, but I did like how it was a slow burn. Like I don't know how they could have really
Yeah.
accomplished it better. Honestly, I think they just needed a better script because on one hand, I kind of wish this was just a zombie movie. Like,
Mm. Yeah.
there's so many like subversions of expectations in this movie that I enjoy, but by
Hmm.
the time you get to the end, it's just like,
Felt like one too
okay,
many, or like two too many.
it kind of felt like that was the whole point. Like they didn't really have an idea. They only had these subversions, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because like the zombie stuff, it's like they know that we, the audience, know what zombies are and how they
Hmm.
work. Because there's so many things where it's like, oh, that didn't go the way I was expecting. Like, okay, an example, they're fighting the zombie,
Hmm.
and then they stab it in the brain with like the rake
The
or whatever.
rake. Yeah, the broken
Yeah,
rake.
and I'm just okay, cool, and it doesn't kill him.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. Okay, destroying the brain doesn't stop zombies in this movie. I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, this changes things. So like that was exciting, but then we got just the same bumbling fight over and over. It's like, oh, okay, well, they did nothing with
Yeah.
that cool idea. So,
Yeah.
and there's several moments like the whole beginning. They're fighting all the mushrooms. I'm like, oh, maybe this is like a Last of Us. It's like an infection or something.
Yeah.
That's just a red herring. You know,
Yeah.
that goes nowhere. I'm like, oh crap, man. So there's so many red herrings, and I'm like, honestly, the red herring stuff was cooler than what we actually got. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like it was, yeah. It was all interesting for me. I think that's the thing. Like I was willing to forgive a lot of this movie, like
Mhm.
the runtime, pacing, like all of it. Like I was willing to forgive the movie if it wasn't for the ending. And like which
Same.
isn't to say that like there are movies that nail the downer ending and they do it
Mhm.
well. And I think there's a place for it. I don't love it all the time, but when it happens, I'm like, and when it happens well, I'm like, damn, that sucked.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Whereas like this, I'm like, I like you and I are just in the camp where it's like, yeah, this was good probably until the end because like what was the point?
hmm
Like
hmm
we're kind of like the cop, where it's just like, what did I do? Like why is this happening to my daughter? Like I
Yeah.
like do it to me, don't do it to my daughter. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of on that same front. I'm like, I don't know why any of this is happening.
I did like the metaphor, I guess, but where the shaman says he's like he's fishing. You never know what you're gonna catch.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
there's
did
something
love that.
really incredibly terrifying about that. It's like crap.
Yeah.
He's like he just happened to catch the little girl, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, but again, yeah, like I was willing to forgive a lot for this movie until like that big ending reveal. The last 30 minutes is like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
Because even like when it comes to the Japanese man, it's like they're literally telling us all the scary stuff this guy has done. And I'm just like, oh, but they make it very obvious. This is from a certain person's perspective.
Yeah.
You know, each flashback we get is basically just a story that somebody told them, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, all right. So I'm assuming that this isn't necessarily how this played out in reality.
Hmm.
But then it's like, oh no, I guess it did go down that way. You know,
Yeah.
several parts of the movie, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I guess this guy is a victim. You know, they end up killing his dog, and
Yeah.
then he like wakes up and has clarity, and I'm just like, I almost feel bad for this guy. He's being hunted down,
Hmm.
but all of that gets essentially retconned when it turns out no, he's the devil or just a demon. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, so
Well, I mean, like,
what was he doing in all these other scenes? Like, what was his plan? Like, I,
well, I mean, like we kind of knew that there was something off or supernatural about this guy. Like once he's doing his own like ritual, right?
sure,
While the exorcism is happening.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and once the movie ends and you're able to like see the whole thing, you're like, okay, wait a second, I think I get it. Um, because like he finds that dead body and he starts putting all the candles around it, and then he, does the ritual, right? It just so happens that it's at the same time that like this exorcism is happening.
Sure.
The ritual is supposed to be to raise that zombie, so he's kind of like a necromancer. But because he's also, I guess, tied to the little girl's body, once that exorcism is happening, he starts like dying. That
Yeah.
was that I will say that like
It was a
that
great sequence.
exorcism was incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was wild. I think it was in the note here somewhere. I think like they filmed like a full like yeah, they filmed that whole 15-minute sequence in one take.
Wow.
Without any breaks.
Yeah.
Um yeah. And I don't I don't it's not one take in the whole movie, I think, but
No.
just like yeah, for
Well,
behind the
and because they keep cutting back and forth,
yeah.
between not only the two different rituals, but also like the parents who are in different locations as well, and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So like so yeah, like that like we didn't know what that was for. Honestly, what I was thinking, because like I just never felt right about like the shaman, you know?
yeah,
Like he just felt too like I thought that was an interesting kind of subversion of like you hear the word shaman, and I guess like for us, for Americans, like tend to think of like an old wizened, kind of like elderly like figure, who knows
hmm
all the knowledge. And like, no, this dude's like he's in suits. He's got a tracksuit on, and he's kind of a
yeah,
dick.
and he has
I'm
like a
like,
gold watch. I'm like,
yeah, and I'm
huh.
like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Um,
But I had the
so
same feeling for him that I had for the old man because I'm like,
yeah,
okay, this old man, like, is he is he just a victim or is he not?
that's kind of what I was thinking. Like we saw his shrine, like his two shrines, and a part of
Yeah,
me was like, is he just investigating this? And then once
right.
he starts doing his ritual, I'm like, wait, is he the shaman? And this other guy, like he's like a
Yeah.
Japanese specific
Well,
shaman, and this other guy is like it's all fake and performative. Like, what is happening?
and you see, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, is the old man, what did he have nothing to do with any of this, but now he wants revenge because they kill his dog,
Yeah,
So there's so many. I think the thing is, you're supposed to not know who to trust in this movie. So
yeah,
in that
yeah,
regard, the film succeeds.
yeah,
But
fully.
they do it in a way that doesn't make sense with the reveal at the end,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because now you're thinking about it like if you go back and watch it again, I feel like things aren't going to make sense. From well, even the shaman it doesn't make sense cuz it's like okay, he was working with him. So was he actually going to kill the old Japanese guy if the dad hadn't stopped everything?
Mm.
Because he clearly was injuring him, you know?
Yeah,
Like it's so weird. Uh and then so like but also the whole thing with the old man and the shrine and stuff, we didn't get enough information to know for sure if he's the one doing it, if he's behind it. But there was also no information to suggest that he's innocent either.
yeah,
And that's the thing. So it's just like, okay, if he's not a big bad evil guy, he's just a really weird dude doing weird stuff. Like that
mm-hmm.
wasn't enough to make me like be on the opposite end. It's like I don't know. Like there wasn't enough for me to root for the cops. There wasn't enough for me to say, no, the cops are wrong in this moment until they start going crazy and killing everything. But you're like halfway through the movie at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just like it's so weird, man. Like maybe this script just needed a couple more drafts because with the shaman again, like I like looking back at it now, it's like, oh, he was working with that guy. That's why
Mm-hmm.
the random weird girl, she essentially makes him like vomit all the blood and all that stuff. I'm like, ooh, that's evil. It's like, no, she was actually trying to save the family. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So then I'm assuming when he was leaving town and all the locusts starts flying
Mm-hmm.
and it causes him to stop, and then we see him turn around. I'm like, I was kind of thinking, well, what has happened? What has changed to make him turn around? And now it's like, oh, it's probably the old guy. He sent the locusts,
Mm.
because that's the only way. Because otherwise, it's just like I just ran into another scary thing. That means I have to go back and fight. Like that doesn't make any sense, like
Yeah, yeah,
so yeah, I don't know, man. And
yeah.
also the priest, I like how, or the priest in training, I like how he kind of comes into the story and slowly starts becoming more and more important, and it
Mm-hmm.
realizes, oh, he wasn't important at all. He was just a vehicle to get the audience to the big reveal at the end. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. And also like, I'm down with, big reveals and like that
yeah,
final ending being like, whoa, that's crazy.
yeah,
I'm cool with that, but like you have to it's crazy to say, it's like you have to earn it. And after
hmm,
2.5 hours, I don't think you earned that ending.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
none of what you set up, none of what is in that ending was really set up very well at all. Because like we just randomly get that like, oh, that random weird girl who's throwing rocks and stuff, she's a witch. It's like we
mm,
don't know that until like the last 10 minutes,
yeah.
and it's like, well, like,
Why is she wearing the clothes of all the dead people? Like, I don't.
yeah.
It's like, did you not think this was gonna like make people suspicious? Like,
Now apparently I had to read this, I'll get to that in a second, but let me get through it first. Apparently in the IMDb trivia, she collects the top portions of people's clothing as a way to protect people. That's apparently I think a Korean belief that, for
okay,
their witches. Like if you have the
cool.
top article of somebody's clothing, then you are using that to protect them. Conversely, the Japanese man collects the bottom items of people, which is specific to
Oh,
to the Japanese in which he's cursing them. So if you
interesting.
know the distinction, then
Yeah,
you're able to kind of clock that, like, hey, she's got all these. Is she a witch? So she's
that's
protecting
cool.
people. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
That Japanese guy, he's got a lot of people's shoes. I don't trust that. That's creepy shit. But
that's
yeah,
cool.
also if you have little girl shoes in your home, I'm like, you're straight up sick. You
Yeah,
know.
so part of one of the things I was wondering, because you're kind of wondering what's going on through this whole movie. At
Hmm.
first, you're kind of thinking like, okay, is this a zombie thing? Because they kind of tease you with the mushroom and like an infection type stuff, but that goes nowhere. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so next thing I was thinking, like maybe this is like a witch. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, all
That's what I
right.
was thinking too.
And then when they go to the old man's house the first time, you see an old like wood and straw broom kind of against the wall, and I'm like, is that a subtle nod to a witch? That's like your traditional
Mm.
like hag type witch. I'm like, are you giving me a hint? Like, is this guy a witch? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
I don't
But then it's
know.
like, no, he wasn't the witch at all. I was like,
No, he's just a demon.
but then again, like this kind of goes back to Lost. Like, man, if people would just talk, I get it. Witches, like stereotypically, they're out in the woods away from society, so they may not have the best kind of social skills. But I'm
Hmm.
like, she was warning him at the beginning. I'm like, if you did a better job as a witch, we could have avoided all of this, you
Hey,
know?
well,
It's like, come on.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You know,
She's like in
to
two scenes, oh, technically like three scenes,
yeah,
but I completely forgot about her until she shows up again when the
yeah,
old man sees her. I'm like, oh, that's right. She's a
yeah.
character.
Um, to be fair, that cop really isn't, the brightest bulb in the light factory. So like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah,
Yeah. And that's the
yeah.
thing too. In order for this plot to work, the characters have to make stupid choices, very much like a slasher. I'm like,
Hmm.
dude,
Hmm.
why did you leave her alone?
Hmm.
You know?
Like, why did they go up to the Japanese man's house, like, and then just leave? I don't know how,
Exactly.
like,
Like
I don't
I
know how, like, how the law or like warrants or any of that works, like, not in,
yeah.
not here, but like, I hate to say it, you're a cop. Fucking make something up and bring the guy in for questioning.
Dude,
What do you, yeah.
yeah. We saw later, like, okay, he went back. At this point, he's more pissed, but he goes back and starts tearing stuff down and killing the dog. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay. Later, they hit the guy with the truck. Cool truck, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and then they just like they don't even talk about it or discuss it. They straight up throw the body over the cliff. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so this whole time, these have been morally gray cops.
Hmm.
Why did they not do this earlier? You know what I
That,
mean? I'm like,
yeah.
it just, ugh.
Yeah. It's like this thing where it's like, well, like they're not technically morally gray. They're just like they just think like, well, we can just kind of go up there, and if he's not there, well, we can
Yeah.
just look at his house.
Like
Like
they,
there's no
well,
like there's no like maleficence there, you know,
sure,
or
until they
malice.
start a mob, they're like, we're gonna go kill this guy.
Yeah,
That's when it's like, okay, that's not really gray. That's straight up bad.
that's
They're
straight up
bad cops.
evil. Yeah,
And at
yeah,
this point, I'm like, okay, if these guys were bad cops, or if they had this in them the whole time,
yeah. Hmm.
why didn't they do it earlier?
Yeah.
Like you would have ended the movie in under 2 hours if you did this earlier.
Although
I'm like,
I don't think they would have, because then again, like like one, the shaman is
true.
in cahoots with, with the demon.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and also like even though like the demon was killed or was being killed, was being, and he eventually revived or whatever, like the daughter got better, but like he straight up got hit by, he fell off the cliff and got hit by a truck,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mm-hmm.
the ending still happened. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like it would have happened, and it would have happened anyway.
Yeah.
It just, we wouldn't have had the benefit of, the it being at the end of 2.5 hours.
You see, the problem is now I'm biased,
Uh,
but they should have taken the priest, the real priest, not the priest in training. But like, tell us what the hell is going on here.
but he
And
was, he was like, hey, the church can't do anything for
dude,
you,
he was no help at all. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah. Which
So,
is
but
fascinating because it's like that feels like, that kind of feels like this is sort of the critique about the movie, is that like these
it's
organized
all,
religions,
yeah,
whether it's Catholicism, where it's this, shaman mysticism, like
yeah.
it it helps when you believe it helps, but also there are some things that can't be fought against,
You
or
see, I
something like
just,
that.
well, by making the shaman like in on it, we don't know. We don't know.
I mean,
You
yeah,
see, because that's the thing. The witch girl, we don't know what her plan was. She said if you go back before the third cock crows,
you'll
everyone's gonna
die.
die. Well, he
Yeah,
goes back, and I'm like, what was the plan? Like, was the family was already dead? Like what was the plan? We never find out. Like,
yeah,
she said
yeah.
something like she was going to trap it. I'm like, okay, like what happens? Like everybody dies except the dad? Like I don't
I mean, I think
we
potentially,
we never got the alternative like
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, potentially. I feel like this is a thing where it's like there there was interesting plot. There was enough hooks. It's just you didn't deliver, and also I think it just kind of meandered a little bit too long with all of the things. Like
yeah.
if there had been more of a through line, if we had gotten some, because there's a shot after the shaman was introduced, and I think after he did the first ritual during the day,
Hmm.
um uh and then he and like the dad go off to like discuss something. There's a shot that doesn't come up again, but it's of another crime scene where all of these cops are like taking
Oh
photos
yeah.
of like it looks like a shaman ritual, and they found all those bodies in the well.
Yeah.
And immediately from that point on, like I was already kind of so-so on the shaman. Like from then on, I'm like, oh, this isn't right.
Hmm.
Also, a piece of clue that we could have found in the clothings, which I did clock, when the shaman is changing out of his clothes, he's also wearing a diaper.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like,
I was like,
huh.
that's interesting. So
I
I
didn't want
don't
to be
trust.
racist and be like, does everyone wear that? They can't because they were making fun of it earlier. So I was like,
Yeah.
huh.
Yeah, because that cop was, and I was like, is this just like a religious figure thing? Like, okay. Because,
Now,
yeah.
one thing you could take is that the old man and the shaman are the same guy, you know?
Mm,
But I did read it, a deleted ending. The young guy picks up the old man in a park at the end.
mm,
Like the old man's trying to give candy to a little girl, and then the mom calls her away. So, but then the car pulls up. Old man gets into the car with the shaman. They drive off, and it ends when you see like the witch girl off in the distance watching. Like, again, sucks. But that kind of proves that they're two different people, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Which, like, I'll still take them as two different people anyway. Because, like, yeah, it also kind of
yeah.
doesn't make sense. Like, it is interesting that they do have like the same camera and they
Hmm.
both collect photos.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean,
So,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah. If it was the same person, shaman's actions don't make any sense. If they're not the same person, shaman's actions make no sense either. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what's going on, which is it sucks because like I really like that character. I like that element. You
Hmm.
know, he's explaining it, and I thought it was a little cheesy because he explains the old man was another shaman trying to hunt, and I was like, okay, you could have told this story in a better way, but I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. They accidentally killed the wrong person trying to go after the evil, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
But even then, if that were true, the old man never gave us any reason to suspect he was actually a good guy,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm just like, ah. So it's just a thing of like one miscommunication in films. It's so easy to go wrong. We talked about this for years while watching Lost.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so much of the plot would be solved if characters actually talk to each other.
Hmm.
The fact that you need characters not to talk to each other so you can keep your plot going is a big red flag. That means you got to do something differently.
Yeah.
Now, I
Yeah.
love Lost with all my heart,
Hmm.
but it's
Hmm.
not the best, this well written show, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Sometimes.
and it's kind of like this with this movie. Like this plot only it doesn't work, but it kind of works
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't have people actually talking to each other, you know. And then like the whole thing with the partner, he saw the closet, you know, and like he was just so traumatized by it. I'm just like, look, man, I get this movie's already 10 years old, but I'm so tired of that trope already. Like just
Yeah.
say the thing. You know, you can still have him not talk for one or two sentences, but at
Hmm.
some point you gotta just get it out. Like that scene was way too long. I was like,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. It's,
Especially because we've seen it.
yeah.
It would be different if we didn't. If we saw his reaction, but then didn't see what was in the closet, then I'd be like, come on, dude, tell us. Tell us. What did you see? What did you see? But no, I had already seen it. So now we're just wasting my time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
And,
yeah.
and it's this thing of like, I like, going back to the Lovecraftian thing and like the
Mhm.
idea of cosmic horror. It's this idea that like there are things that are so big or unfathomable to you that they like break your consciousness, right?
Right.
Um, and I can imagine that happening with, something that isn't, a skyscrapers high monster, right? Like I
Right.
can imagine that being something as simple as opening a closet and
Yeah.
finding all of these pictures of dead people, that this guy has taken. And that's totally okay. But my issue is the same as yours. And also it's like, I like you this guy's reaction does not exist in a vacuum across this movie because it feels like everybody's having the exact same reaction to each other,
Yeah.
and it's like a part of me wishes, like, even though the captain was a dick, kind of wish the captain was in this more, because
Yeah.
he feels at least like he probably, like, he would have been a little more like headstrong. He probably would have straight up been like, it's like, what is it? What did you see? Son of a bitch,
Let's
you're
go
under
after this guy.
arrest, like
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
like do something. Like, it's the
Yeah.
fact that, like, these guys are discovering things, but nothing's happening. They're having
Yeah.
these reactions so much later. And,
Yeah.
again, the main guy, the main character is so like, well, what did you see? What did you see?
Hmm.
And his friend finally says it. He's like, what? You saw that? Oh, I don't know what
Yeah.
to do. And it's like, dude, like, I get it. You're out of your depth,
Yeah.
but it's like, I guess that's this guy's sin. Like, it's and you kind of don't see it that often, but like the sin of like sloth being punished.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
inaction that is this guy's, truest sin, and
Mm.
that's why his daughter ends up getting possessed and killing people,
Yeah.
because you don't do anything. You don't want to do anything,
Yeah.
you know? So,
And we got that reaction you were talking about at the end when the priest sees the old man in his true form. That's what
yeah.
he wanted to see, and he sees it. He's like, "Oh, it's the devil," and we
Hmm.
get that reaction from him. I'm like, "Yes, dude," So that was a great moment. The effects or the makeup looked awesome. Like that was
Hmm.
terrifying. I was like, "Oh my god!" And the laugh was so damn scary. I was
Hmm.
like, "Dude, like that's
Like,
pretty much the scene that like the movie on its own. It's fine. I'm not gonna really remember it, but like that reveal, I'm like, dude, I've been thinking about it for the last 24 hours. And like
hmm.
that's like Colobos. That's gonna be burned in my head for the rest of my life. I'm like, oh,
I can't wait till
so.
we bring Colobos to the podcast.
No, hell no. I will say it's probably dumb. I think I saw a trailer a couple years ago. I'm like, wow, this
Uh,
looks really stupid. But listeners, Colobos was a movie. A friend in middle school lent me the VHS tape, so I was watching it like after school, and it was just like, I think it's just a slasher. I don't even think it was that bad, but like it scared middle school me. I'm
yeah.
like, oh, but yeah, but um, damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm
You
so
threw me off with
sorry. I'm
Colobos, but
sorry.
but yeah, I was gonna say, like I was gonna go a little easier on this movie, but I'm like, nah, man, this is like the keep, but not cool. Whereas the
Mm.
keep with all the plot holes and it feels like scenes were missing and just missteps, it
Hmm.
still was cool, And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the
It's like,
keep is kind of like my baseline standard now. Like you're either better or worse than the
yeah.
keep. So
And, at least the keep has like this weird, rock monster demon that's face
yeah,
melting Nazis and stuff. It's like, this
yeah,
demon's just possessing people, families, like, that
yeah,
sucks. You're
yeah.
possessing little girls, you little pervert. Screw you,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, and like it was just and then there was a scene where she's calling the dad a pervert, and I'm like, oh, now
Hmm.
we're going down this route. It's like they had too many ideas and they just shoved them into one movie. There's
Hmm.
nothing really to connect it. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay. You could have been a really cool movie about a possessed daughter.
Hmm.
It wasn't. This could have been a really cool movie, like a unique original take on zombies. It wasn't.
Hmm.
It could have been a cool bumbling idiot finds himself in the middle of this like truly horrific movie. It wasn't. It's like
Hmm.
it had all these different things it was trying to do. All those things have been done before and better,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not at once.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I think there's a way to do all of that at once. It
yeah.
just
You could
needs,
probably mix it, but it's just
you just
yeah,
you need a couple more passes on the script,
yeah,
Tighten it up,
yeah.
you know.
Sure.
But yeah, but I mean, like, also at the end of the day, it's like, I didn't necessarily hate my time here. Um,
Yeah.
and like,
Same.
truly, like, atmospherically, I'm like, yeah, like, like all like that again, that whole hour of setup and getting to meet all the characters and like learning about like
Yeah.
the terrible thing. Every new crime scene, I was just like, God, this sucks. Like I hope that this is something supernatural because if this is just a person doing all of this, like
Right.
I hate this,
You
you
could have
know.
ended it at the 2 hour mark. It's like, okay, we killed the old man, even though it was like on purpose, but we killed him on accident, and then we
Hmm.
throw his body off the cliff. Okay, everything goes back to normal. We'll just chop it up, and say it was him. You know,
Hmm.
you could have ended it there, and it's like we were the real monsters the whole time. You
Hmm.
know, like it wouldn't have been great, but like that still would have spared us from the ending of like, oh, it's not only like I'm fine with like the downer endings, but it's just the reveals of like what the actual evil is, what the quote unquote plan was.
Hmm.
It contradicts the first 2 hours of the movie. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. No, I feel like we're pretty fair to be harsh on this. Like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Cool ideas, poor execution. So,
yeah.
listeners,
Hopefully,
watchers,
great podcast episode.
yeah, yeah. You just want us to trash something? Give us
We
more
didn't
like
just
this.
trash it. No, we
No, we
talked
talked
about
about
it.
what we liked and we talked about where
Yeah,
it so obviously went wrong. Um,
yeah,
I had mentioned a while back, like, I wonder what happens when we get to a movie we don't like. It's like,
yeah,
ooh, this is
yeah.
it. I think there was still a lot of things we did like about it, so I think we were pretty fair.
I think
Um,
so.
Now I'm curious what's going to happen if we both have differing opinions on a movie. I think that's going to be
Ooh,
interesting.
I think so too.
Maybe we'll get there next
Like our
time.
original, like way back, like coherence. You know, where like you were always in
Kind
love
of.
with it, and me being like, dude, I hate this movie. This is dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that I want that to happen, but it'll be interesting when it
It's
happens.
gonna happen at some point. We're gonna have differing opinions on
Yeah,
it. So,
we're gonna watch some movie. We're gonna be like, mm-mm, mm-mm.
but for now, oh, I should have brought this up again at the beginning. Listeners, no buns and bullets this week.
Oh, that's right.
Uh,
Yeah.
I really wanted to do one book a month. Couldn't do it, man. Work has been crazy. That's the main time I get to listen to my books because I work
Hmm.
alone. That has not been the case this month. It probably won't be the case for a couple weeks. So I don't know when we're gonna get back to Buns and Bullets, but I'm
Hmm.
still. I mean, I own Gideon the Knife now. I spent the credit on it, so
See, there you go.
yeah. So hopefully there's. It was supposed to drop April 1st. Hopefully it drops early May instead. We'll see.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because that was fun and I liked reading it and it put us into a different medium, you know. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
we'll see. And
And I
then
like that because it's very different than us talking about like a show or a movie. Like we are
yeah,
dealing with a whole book, and there's not a lot of visuals
there's not
except
a
what's in our
yeah,
head.
there's not the technical stuff that we really dig. It's just all
Yeah,
our imaginations.
yeah.
So
I can't
um,
read a book and say like, wow, the cinematography was great.
sure.
By the way, if that's the
So
first thing that you come away with from a movie, I don't think the movie was very good.
well, I wouldn't go that far.
I
I
think
don't know.
I think it depends, but like I think you should have something better to say than like, oh, the cinematography was great. Be like, but what about the movie? That's not the
That's a
movie.
discussion for a
You
different day.
know,
But because I mean I think it's uh
I
uh
shouldn't have brought it up. I'm sorry.
different strokes for different folks because I'm like I've said it over and over. I hate sound. I'm not a fan of audio design. So like I never watch a movie and I'm like, dude, the audio in that movie was so good. You know, if it stands out, it will be. But like for people who dig it, or probably, maybe they're like, dude, this audio was great. Like I
Yeah.
mentioned the guy who talked about Casino,
Oh yeah, yeah.
granted he was blind, so audio was all he had to go off of. But like I don't know, someone who's maybe I'm a very visual person, but maybe someone who's more visual than I am. Like that's what they care more about the visuals than like the acting. So
Hmm.
yeah, who knows? But point is, hopefully we get back to Buns and Bullets soon. This is really just like this 3 month period of the year where I'm just like swamped. So
Yeah.
usually work is cool, but not for these 3 months. So we'll get to that when we get to that. In the meantime, hit us up at what's our podcast? Lost Legacies podcast at gmail.com. Let us know if you're reading Gideon the Ninth. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you thought about The Wailing. Let us know if
Mm-hmm.
you enjoyed it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see, Dad's going to be on the podcast next week. We
Ooh.
hope. I haven't asked, but he wasn't able to make it last month, but that was our thing. We're like, hey, first week of the month, we're going to have Dad on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's time. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if not, we'll just watch a movie next week. But either way, either next week or the week after, we're watching another movie.
Okay.
So Sam,
Mm-hmm.
please roll a d20. I
All
have
right.
taken the randoms off.
Thank
So
you.
so so pretty
Thank
much
you.
I'm never gonna have more than one random on the list at a time. And it kind of just goes back into the order. So let's see what we got, Sam.
Okay. Get out the bed rolls. Get out.
Y'all warmed up?
Okay. Yeah. 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 Warmed up. Okay. No whammies. No whammies. No whammies. 13.
Oh, this is interesting. I had intended to pair this up with Buns and Bullets, uh, because it is based off of an old book.
A book.
But
Okay.
yeah, but
Okay.
it's like I think that's a little too much.
Okay.
But
I've thought about
we
that too. Yeah.
we're going back to 2015 to
2015.
check
Okay.
out Justin Kurzel's Macbeth. This is the one starring Michael Fassbender,
Oh.
which
Okay.
is probably I don't have a lot of experience with Macbeth.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not on a stage. I had to double check.
I'm
I'm
also
in my
not on a
bedroom.
stage.
I'm in my bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so yes, we are going back to revisit the Scottish play. Um, in my opinion, this is my favorite version of Macbeth. Granted, I
Interesting.
don't have a lot of experience with it, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do know there are some interesting. I've read it before, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just haven't seen a lot of interpretations. I didn't like the Denzel version.
Yeah. Oh.
That's a discussion for another time.
Oh. Hot take.
Maybe we'll bring it up in this movie. But
Oh.
there are some differences from the original.
Okay.
So,
Dang.
slight differences. So yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it's probably one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. So who's
Interesting.
the actor? I
Okay.
forget the actress.
Isn't it Marion Cotillard?
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks, next week we have Dad. In
That's
two
right.
weeks
That's right.
we have Macbeth. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. And I think that's the one I've seen Macbeth performed, I think twice, but I've never actually read it.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I
Well,
got my library card. Maybe that's what I'll do this
maybe you
week.
will read it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm gonna go to the library and be like, excuse me, do you have
Because
the
I thought
Scottish
about it, I'm like,
play?
that would be cool, like to watch the movie and read it within the same month. That would be cool.
Mm.
I'm probably not gonna do that.
I'll have it on and I'll like read along with with my
Right, yeah,
script. It's like,
yeah,
oh, they didn't do that. Oh, I don't like that
yeah.
stage direction. That's not what Shakespeare
Oh,
intended.
but damn, talk about another depressing movie, back to
Damn.
back. At
Yeah,
least we
I
have
know.
Dad in between, so we get a week off.
I did hear yeah, that's very true. I did hear something where somebody say like, if you want to take like Shakespeare couples, like people need to stop attributing like true love and romance to like Romeo and Juliet, and they should do it to Lord and Lady Macbeth
Oh,
because they at
totally.
least get shit done. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
they're the couple,
dang,
man.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, power couple, yeah, of the
yeah,
century, I guess, yeah,
yeah. Shakespeare's Bonnie and Clyde right there.
yeah,
Watch, Dad's gonna cancel on us last minute, and we're like, oh,
and we're
all
gonna have to
right,
do it.
let's go watch this depressing ass movie.
Match my
So
freak, and they did.
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
jeez.
So, all right, everyone, we're checking out Macbeth, the 2015 version, in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah. Until then, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this movie more than we did.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
hope you did
but
too. I hope you at least
yeah,
had a good time.
yeah. If not with the movie, with this podcast.
Yeah.
So until next time, get lost.
Get lost.